I just wanted to do a quick video on how to get your hydrashot ready to use for the first time. So you're going to want to take the lid off, put that aside. And the lid has a little release button up here in case the pressure builds up too much so it doesn't go pop like the weasel. Right, and then you're going to take the bottom off. And you're going to see this black plug here in the bottom. And you're going to want to pop that right out. But you want to save this in case you ever need to go a little ways without using your hydrashot. You're going to want to put this back in to make sure to keep your electrodes nice and wet, and I'm going to keep this in a safe place. I will be using this box for storage because it's got a nice foam place for everything to sit. But you don't want this to dry out because then the electrodes won't work anymore. So in order to put this back on, you're going to match up the arrows. Okay, so I'm going to come up close. Set the arrow here and the arrow there, right here. So you're going to match those up, and then you're going to turn in the opposite direction that the arrows are pointing. It's kind of confusing. When I first put it together, I was trying to turn it the way the arrows were pointing, and it did not work, obviously. So turn it in the opposite direction that the arrows are pointing. So you should, when it's on correctly, all the grooves should be lined up, and the arrow on the top, you should see that on the right side of the buttons on the front, okay? So then we're gonna fill this up for our first time. You don't wanna drink the first one. I got this water from our filter that I'm actually hoping to replace with a hydrophone unit soon. So when you fill it up for use, you don't want to fill it up all the way. Just to about here, you want to leave room for the gas to build up pressure in there. If there's not enough room, that's when you get the pop goes the weasel types of scenarios, and the seal might get ruined. Alright, so you just turn that back up on until all the grooves line up, and then you push the button twice for a 10-minute cycle, and then it is so pretty to watch. My kids love watching this run, actually. I was using my mom's for a while when she's here because unfortunately her house burned down last month, so she has been staying with us every other week between her work trips. So we had been using her hydrashot while she was here, and the kids love watching the lights and the bubbles. So the way this works is the electrodes infuse hydrogen gas into the water, very much like they carbonate soda. So there's extra hydrogen molecules in the water. I know water is made up of 2 hydrogen molecules and an oxygen molecule, but the gas stays separate from those molecules, so you get the extra H2 molecules in your water, which is where all the benefits come from. So here's your plug in. This is my first time using it, and you'll see it's flashing. It shows you the time, and then it flashes to the battery status. It does that all the time. When I was first helping my mom figure hers out, I didn't realize that it did it all the time. So I thought whenever the battery flashed, it meant that the battery was getting low. That's not what that means. It's just it's just flashing between the countdown and the battery status. So the plug-in for the charging is in the back. You're going to want to charge it. So I'm going to, and then you just plug this into the wall and leave it to charge for whenever. So you push the button once for a 5-minute cycle, and that gets you 3 parts per million hydrogen gas. And then pushing the button twice gives you 10-minute cycle, and that is 5 parts per million. And so this actually, if you do one 10-minute cycle, that gives you 1.1 milliliters, I believe, of hydrogen, which is already up into the therapeutic levels of hydrogen a day that they recommend. So this, I really love this. It's super simple. You just drink it all in one go. I'm gonna go ahead and pause, and then we will I will come back when it's done and show you what we do with this one. Okay, so that's the end of the first 10-minute cycle. I'm gonna open this and you're gonna hear a little like when you open the soda. Nice. Sprayed myself a little bit with that though. Alright, so now we're just gonna dump this out. You do not want to drink the first product. So that is how you get this set up to use, and now you can add in more water and take as many shots of this a day as you want. I usually do 3, one in the morning, one around lunchtime, and then one right before bed. If I feel like I'm getting sick or a cold's coming on, I take a little bit. I take about 1 in between each of those 2 just to try and fight that off. And I have actually also given this to my 1-year-old. I gave him a little bit in his bottle when he was sick. One day he was throwing up in the morning, and then by the afternoon he was completely fine. Hydrogen water is excellent for balancing out your gut health, so that's how you do that. Cheers to everybody who is on their journey to trying to conceive, pregnant, or in the postpartum recovery period. Cheers to you, and I will see you next time.